Hey everybody, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're going to be talking about this survival kit. Let me show you quickly there. You can see this is an OtterBox. Now the concept behind this survival kit, I was thinking about, the times I've been out doing whitewater canoeing or other things that are around the water, and a scenario that came to my mind is what happens if you're on the water and you get dumped and everything takes off downstream and all you got is you with your life vest on, you're scrambling to the shore. Okay, so you get to the shore, all your stuff has disappeared downstream. Yeah, you might be able to go downstream and get it, but what if you can't? What do you do in that type of situation? Well, this kit that I've built is waterproof, and beyond that, it gives you some basic survival stuff so that you could, in that type of scenario, get by for a while and hopefully affect self-rescue, and at least stay alive for a while until somebody found you. So the idea that I have behind there is kind of based around that concept. Thus, it is waterproof. It's a little bit large. You wouldn't kind of carry this in your cargo pocket or your front or back pocket in your average everyday life. It's too big for that. But if you were out canoeing, out kayaking, doing something like that, here's an option for you. I've got a little carabiner. We'll talk about that in a minute. But excuse me, even if you couldn't put it in a pocket because you didn't have one, you could attach it to your gear somehow, and then even if everything went downstream, you could still have this and maybe affect self-rescue if you knew how to apply some of the items that were actually in the kit. So let's talk about it, and then we'll start the discussion down below in the comment section. Let's start off by talking about the Paracord and the carabiner. There are going to be some people who see this and say, you should have a weight-bearing carabiner, something stronger than this. There'll be people on the other end of the spectrum that say, you should have a breakaway system set up here so that if this falls out of your pocket and gets pinned between a rock and a log, the tension will break away and basically you won't be attached to this and therefore pinned downstream as the water is rushing over you. I think there's pluses and minuses on both sides. For me, as I thought through that type of scenario, I thought most likely is what's going to happen is I'm going to get dumped out of the canoe, and if this falls out of my pocket, I want it to stay connected to me so that even if I lose everything else downstream, I can scramble to shore, and even if this is kind of floating, a couple feet behind me, I can hop out, somehow survive the getting dumped out of the canoe, and then I can have my kit with me. So that was the decision I made. That's why I've kind of set it up this way. There's lots of different perspectives on it. I can understand the other perspectives, but that's where I landed. So that being said, let's actually get into the kit and see what's in there. As we start to open up the kit here, you can see that we do have the paracord wrapped here, so that'll keep it shut. This is also locked shut, and then you have an elastic here. So three basic ways that you're keeping it secured so it's not going to accidentally open on you. This is the OtterBox. It's in the Pursuit series, and I chose this one because it could still fit into a cargo pocket, as long as the cargo pocket wasn't real slim, but it wasn't super deep. So I didn't want one that was just totally awkward. This is going to be a little bit clunky in your cargo pocket, but I think will still work. So we open up the kit here. In the Pursuit originally, there's kind of a rubberized netting that hangs down in. I just took that out because it was taking up too much space for me. You can see right on the top we have a space blanket. So my main thought is if I get dumped in the water, warmth is going to be a major issue for me immediately. I got to deal with the question of hypothermia. So this immediately gives me an option to wrap myself up and start to heat up a little bit, start to warm up a little bit. So we have that. We do have the paracord. As long as we still got this lanyard, we have the paracord from there. And now I've also got about 35 to 40 feet of bank line here, and that's a nice strong cordage and easy to kind of store in a smaller kit like this. So bank line. I have a Ziploc bag, and you could certainly scoop water up in this thing. If you had to collect water or just having some sort of container, yeah, you could use this. But this is compact, and this will be an opportunity for you to scoop water up, and if you could find a way to treat it, which I'll show you in a moment, then you've got an opportunity to use this basically as your water container. Not as great as like a Nalgene or a Clean Canteen, obviously, but extremely small kit. So that's why I've got this, and 2 rubber bands. Just lots of different options when it comes to rubber bands. Got a very small compass here, so if you get dumped out, you can start to find your way back home if you know generally where you are and where you want to head. And in general, just to know, north, south, east, west, this is a helpful thing. Obviously, you can use the sun to some degree, but this will give you a little bit more help. This is a large square of aluminum foil. You can use this for cooking, you can use it for signaling, a variety of different applications for that. I do have some duct tape, or actually this is Gorilla Tape, and this is wrapped around a business card of mine, so a small piece of a business card. And Gorilla Tape or duct tape lots of different uses for that. I often think of, you know, if you got to patch something that you're working on, great, but in particular, if you get a big gash, it's not great to cover it up with something kind of nasty, sticky like Gorilla Tape, but better that than have, you know, be bleeding out all over the place. So you could certainly use this for medical uses as well. In here, we've got a very small bag of dryer lint, super compressed, and with the fire steel, with the matches, you can see we can now get a fire going. Again, I'm thinking as soon as I get out of the water, I'm going to be concerned about heat. I got to warm up. So now I've got this to start getting me warm. So there's that. This is a SOL mirror, and obviously signaling is a great thing to do to get people's attention. This has got that whole setup so you can look through the center of the mirror to do that. So that's good for signaling. Tiny little light. This is the Thrunite TI3, and I like this because it's so small and yet it gives me over 100 lumens, and it also has a very, very low lumens setting. So some people would say, well, you want a headlamp? Yeah, that'd be great, but you're using up a lot of space for a headlamp. Even a small one, you know, Princeton Tech Bite, something like that, still takes up a lot of space in my opinion in here. So this is why I chose this guy. And if for some chance you have a baseball hat on and you're able to keep it on, you can switch this clip around and put this on the brim of your baseball hat. Now you've got a small headlamp. I'll open up this pack in a second to show you what's in there. You can see I do have some fishing hooks. I'm figuring if I'm near water, there's going to be fish around most likely, or at least there's a decent chance, let's say. So now I can do some fishing to get some food. And I've had a lot of luck actually using lures, and this is one of my favorites, is a white rooster tail. And you know, tie it to some fishing line, which is in here, toss it out and just pull it back quickly. And I've actually caught lunch in survival situations, not life or death, but just, you know, out training and stuff, using one of these guys. So I like this one a lot. This is a treble hook, but I cut one off so it would lay flat within the box. As you can see down here, we've got an ESEE, and I wanted a fixed blade. What I originally had was one of those tiny little, about yay long, and it folds out. It's got a hacksaw blade and then basically a razor blade. And that would do a decent job, but this fits in here. It doesn't fit with the sheath, so that's why there's no sheath on it. But the ESEE gives you a lot more options than one of those little dinky, not so great folding blades. So, and I got this bright color because I thought, well, if I drop it, you know, I want to be able to spot it in that type of situation. So ESEE as my blade. I'll move this out of the way. Oh, actually, you know what? A couple more things. Got a large sewing needle, and this could be used in a variety of applications. One of the main things I've used these for in the past is digging out nasty splinters or anything like that. I've got to get grit out of my skin, so I got to cut and there's a piece of dirt in it to have that fine edge to get it out. It's nice. And then I've got a fire steel here. Now I do have matches in here, and they're waterproof, and they're in a bag, and they were in this case. But if for some reason they get wet, now I still have an option to get my fire started. Again, heat, big idea, big concept for me when I think about falling out of a canoe. All right, move this out of the way, and we'll open up this bag and tell you what's in there. Here's what I had in that little bag. Starting over here, we got some ibuprofen. So just, you know, you get beat up in the process of falling out of a canoe or kayak or something. That can help with some aches and pains. A couple Band-Aids. You know, if you got some clothing you could cut and, you know, wrap around your hand. Let's say you got a cut on your hand, you could wrap it around your hand. Just easier to have a Band-Aid. Didn't take up a ton of space, so I threw that in. Triple antibiotic ointment, nothing like getting a nasty infection while you're out in the woods. Here are 3 potable agua tabs, and you can get a, fill the water bag I have, if you will, and then toss in half one of these and it's purified. So you're getting 6 servings, if you will, plus. I think that's probably on the conservative side, but 6 servings plus of water using these. Waterproof matches, these are UCO matches, waterproof, and you know, you light one and then you can light a candle, you can burn the candle, so even if eventually the match goes out, you got the candle going there. Over here we've got our striker for our matches, and then we've got some fishing line and some leaders here. I think I could actually put more fishing line on there, so I'll probably end up doing that. I do like the idea of just wrapping it around this piece of a piece of paper or cardboard, something like that, to keep it relatively organized. So there's some of the items, or all the items that were in that little plastic bag. What's up, guys? Just a quick addition here. I want to let you know that, you know, for me, survival kits, they're always changing and adapting as I'm thinking about other things and finding products that I like. So for this kit, I'm already going to be adding in some food options. That may be some sort of like protein, powder, so at least get some protein into the diet when I'm in a survival situation, or maybe something like powdered soup, something like that that's got a mix of protein and carbs. So I'll do a little research, and then it's obviously got to be powdered and small so it can fit into this very small kit. But that's another addition I'll be making to this survival kit you're looking at. So there you have it, a survival kit built for the scenario of getting dumped out of your raft, your canoe, your kayak. You get dumped into the water, you scramble up to the shore, and how you're going to stay alive for a little while until either people can rescue you or you can find your way out. As is often the case, really as is always the case with survival kits, there's a lot of personal preference that really dominates how each of us put our kits together. This one is one that works for me. Let's hear about your kits, what you would add, what you take away, what are different ideas and concepts that you would do if you were putting together a kit for that type of scenario. Thanks as always for checking out the videos. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you have not done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Tumblr and Instagram as well. Take care.